Spring, summer, fall, winter, the rhythm of nature itself reminds us that life in this world moves in cycles. We see this truth unfold quietly in the taste of things. Sometimes the characters find the right ingredient, other times they must wait an entire year for it to return. The film captures the art of life itself, but not as something man-made or performed. We never even see the man-made front of the house, for instance. Instead, the focus is on natural art, from harvesting vegetables in the garden to the subtle beauty of the landscape in the kitchen, framed like a living painting. Through this communion between nature's ingredients and human hands, through the deep partnership between Dodin and Eugénie, two cooks, something earthly becomes divine. They cook with such love, such attention to detail, that what begins as something natural and ordinary rises into something transcendent. The film even suggests that food can hold more power than worldly or political authority. But that power doesn't come from mere abundance, as seen in the long dinner scene with the visiting prince, filled with excess and display. True power comes harmony of a well-planned and sculpted dinner, or from simplicity, like a small pot of chicken being fried with love, enough to unite people around the table and elevate them together. Because to become a true culinary artist, or, by extension, a true artist of any kind, takes decades of work, discipline, and transformation. It requires refining not only one's technique, but one's soul, cultivating memory, culture, and humanity itself. Until, finally, after many seasons, something truly beautiful can be created. After 20 years together, Dodin and Eugénie partnership seemed perfect, a harmony built not on words, but on a shared rhythm. Their love and complementarity were expressed through the act of cooking itself. They didn't need much dialogue, their communication happened through gestures, precision, and taste. The kitchen was their language, each dish a word, each meal a declaration of love. Yet, through those long years of work and creation, that partnership also became carnal. They found each other not only through the food, but also in the intimacy of their bodies. Still, Eugénie hesitated to turn that love into a formal commitment. For her, marriage seemed like a cage, a threat to the delicate balance and freedom they had built. She believed she was free because she could satisfy her desires whenever she chose, without binding herself to permanence. But matter, like flesh, has its limits. The same natural cycle that governs the seasons, the rhythm of life and decay, reminded them that the material world is not eternal. The body weakens. Ingredients vanish. Seasons end. And through an unexpected illness, death itself arrived at their door, awakening Dodin to the truth that even love, when confined to the sensual and the material, must face its final transformation. Confronted with the possibility of losing the woman he loved, Dodin realizes that the cycle of their lives, once so fertile and full, might be drawing to an end, and in one of the most moving sequences of the film, he cooks for her without uttering a single word, pouring all his affection into every gesture and every detail of the meal. Through his work, he speaks of love, gratitude, and farewell. By serving her, he becomes her servant in the truest sense, embodying a love that finally transcends passion and enters the realm of devotion. Their bond becomes matrimonial, not by vows, but by service. They finally recognize each other fully, decide to prepare for marriage and become engaged. Dodin believes they've reached autumn, a beautiful, quiet decline. She, on the other hand, still feels like summer, radiant, alive, full of warmth to give. Yet, nature follows its own course. Just as they prepare to share their final stage together, death comes unexpectedly. Dodin refuses to accept this new turn of the cycle. He falls into grief, anger, and silence, unable to cook, unable to create. The film shows this deep human struggle, whether to resist or embrace the inevitable turns of reality. Dodin was trapped in the things of this world, unwilling to accept that matter fades away, that everything material, by its very nature, eventually turns to dust. In time, though, his mourning begins to take shape through an act of love. Teaching Pauline, the young and talented apprentice, becomes his new way of transforming pain into purpose. What once was a wound becomes legacy. Perhaps, he thinks that helping her develop her gift might one day lead to a new dish, a new spark of beauty for humanity, something even greater, as he says, than discovering a new star. Through this act of transmission, Dodin finds his path again, to keep the fire of creation alive, even when love itself passes into memory. And then, after this long winter, this season of loss and apparent stillness, life quietly returns. Summer comes again. And with it, a new beginning, a new partnership, a new rhythm, now with Pauline at Dodin's side, learning, growing, carrying the flame forward. In the end, The Taste of Things is not only a story about love for gastronomy. It's about the transcendence and spiritual dimension that can be found in our daily tasks and work, about how devotion to the smallest details, done with care and love, can become a bridge to the divine. Because beauty doesn't only live in grand creations or in the hands of master chefs. It lives in each of us, every time we do what we're meant to do, with attention, humility, and joy. As the film reminds us through St. Augustine's words, happiness is to keep desiring what we already possess. That is, the path to transcendence is not far away, hidden in another world. It's right here, in the life we already have. If we can learn to see, understand, and embrace the cycles of life without clinging to what fades, we'll discover that even in this fleeting world, every act of love, every gesture of service in our life and our work, if done with love, is already a taste of eternity.